Chapter 1. Hell. The story is going to display mature themes and abuse. Please be aware of that. I will be doing daily updates on this book. Happy reading? Julie POV. Jules, do you think he will let us eat today? My wolf Aphrodite asked me. I do not think I will be able to hold for longer. I am too weak. I could feel her pain and weakness. But there was nothing I could do to fix our situation. I was also weak and tired of lacking food. I am not sure. The alpha is very angry this week. I do not know what is going on, but I think it is best to stay away from his sight without asking anything. Aphrodite growled in my head. He is not our alpha. He stole the title from your father and your brother. I can never accept him, you know it. I kept cleaning the meeting room. It was nearly dinner time, and I still needed to finish my long list of duties at the pack house. We wolves have a speedy metabolism and need more food than an average human to thrive. I had not eaten in almost 3 weeks, and with each passing day, it was more difficult to perform all my tasks fast. My body hurt so much from the lack of food. I have not been fed regularly since I was 12, and my uncle Michael became my alpha. I was surprised that my wolf Aphrodite had shown up when I turned 16. 2 years later than any other werewolf, I was starting to think she would never come. But I am sure her late arrival is due to my lack of strength. I am just skin and bones for lacking food. It was 9 in the evening, and I was lying curled like a ball on the small dirty mattress on the floor. It was raining heavily outside, and the small shed I lived in at the back of the pack house shook violently with a strong wind. Stormy days like today bring my mind to a place I do not like, a feeling I wish I could cut from inside. Jules, are you okay? I can feel your pain. The storm will pass soon, sweetie. Don't let your mind go there. Please close your eyes and let me take over. I am weak, but I can use some of my powers to comfort you. Aphrodite is kind and optimistic, always trying to comfort me and bring me to a better place. The thought of meeting my wolf was the only thing that kept me sane since my parents and twin brother had died on a stormy day, just like today. My wolf was the best thing that happened to me since I lost everything. I lost my family, my pack, and my future. I was lost in my thoughts and did not smell him coming. The rain had masked his scent, and even if it was not stormy out, takes me longer to sense another's presence. They must be much closer to me for my senses to quicken. I was nearly a human at this stage, and I knew my wolf would die soon if things did not improve for us. My whole body trembled when I saw the monster of my uncle kicking the door and standing there soaked from the rain. I knew what was coming, and I was not sure if I would be able to endure this time. Aphrodite tried to take control, but I closed our connection. I knew she would try something, and there was no way we could take down an alpha. With red eyes, he took long strides toward me. I knew his wolf was in control and shaking. I moved back to the corner. I was too afraid even to breathe. Uncle Michael's hand grabbed me by the hair and threw me to the other side of the room. My face collided with the bucket of water dripping from the roof, cutting my lips. Uncle Michael came on top of me and ripped my long shirt, leaving me only in my panties. And he screamed in my face. On your hands and knees like the filthy animal you are. I lifted my face and saw what he was holding. My body shivered and I whimpered. Uncle, please not this. He punched my left eye, and my head hit the floor. He hated when I spoke to him. He always said my voice was as sweet as my mother's. With much difficulty, I moved to my hands and knees in front of him, and not a second later, I felt the riding crop covered in silver cutting on my bare lower back. I was at his mercy now. I could scream as much as I wanted, and nobody from the pack would come to my rescue. I learned that when I was 12. Between strokes, he said in a disgusting voice, "I am not your uncle. I am your fucking alpha. I don't want to hear your pathetic voice today. If you scream or cry, I will kill you." I quickly muffed my cries every time the silver crop lashed my skin. I could smell the Cooper. My back was already bleeding, and I did not know why he was beating me this time. I was sure it was not because I had done something wrong. I had completed all my tasks today, but I knew better than to ask the reason he would only beat me more. My uncle increased the force on each stroke and said, "You are nothing. Remember that you are only alive because I let you live. You are only the means to make the pack stay in line." My mind went to when he killed my parents and my twin brother in front of me. I hated going there, but it happened every time he came to hurt me. And he was coming more and more often each week. He was losing control of the pack. There are too many problems with rogues, and he was supposed to ensure the pack's safety. Michael was a lazy alpha driving the pack to the ground and losing everything my father and grandfather had built. When he stopped, I took a deep breath, hoping he had lashed out all the anger at this stage. He had hit me more than 100 times, and I could not keep the position. The smell of blood was too much that was making me dizzy. I was already lying on the floor, muffing my cries not to set his wolf off. I heard the crop hitting the floor, and my uncle walked to the small, broken window. The alpha of the Blue Moon pack and many warriors of his pack are coming. That cocky bastard thinks he is better than me and is doing me a favor. He always talked to me after his punishments. I was his only family left, and now I knew why he had hurt me. He was angry with the alpha of the Blue Moon pack. I closed my eyes and tried to remember what my father had taught me about them. I was a twin, and it was my brother's rightful place to become the alpha of this pack. Not me, but my father insisted on teaching my brother and me together. He always said I would become a Luna of another pack, and I needed to know everything to help my mate lead them. I was trying to picture my father's face when he showed me the maps and made me understand the pack's logistics. They were highly skilled in combat, and alphas worldwide would go to them asking for alliance and protection. I did not know much about the new alpha. I knew from conversations I heard while cleaning the kitchen that he had secured more land and better alliances in only 4 years of being an alpha than any other alpha had. He started his duties when he turned 21, and my father was long gone to teach me anything about him. The Blue Moon was the most extensive and successful pack. Not only in the territory but also in people. It was a pack of warriors, and they valued strength the most. They were known not only for their skills but also for their looks. I knew the alpha was highly trained and deadly in combat. I'm sure all the she-wolves would be looking forward to his arrival, hoping he would pick one of them. The pack always had more men than women, and the alpha was pleased to bring their wolves to other packs to meet she-wolves. I am sure they were coming here to look for their mates. With fated mates being so rare these days, they could also choose a mate if they did not find one. My train of thought was stopped when my uncle kicked me on my left side, making me land on my back. It hurt so much that I screamed, which only infuriated him further, leading him to kick me again because he was angry. That piece of shit refused an alliance with me. He thinks he is better alpha than I am, all with his pretty cocky face and his kills to count on his advantage. He will leave me, 10 miserable warriors, to deal with the rogue's problem in exchange for letting his pack search for their mates. And after that, What will I do when I have another problem and the warriors are not here to help? I never understood his monologues after the beatings. He did not want my input in the pack. He was not there seeking help. He was there to torment me and make me his punching bag because he was weak to take a man of his size. I was breathing slowly. I could feel the broken bones and sensed his silent presence closer to me. The shed was dark. It did not have electricity, but I knew he could see my exposed, beating body in the dark. He was a well-fed wolf, after all. His senses were high. He always said I looked like my mother, and I knew his wolf wanted her. That was why he killed my father. I was always more afraid when he behaved like that, silent and close. I was always scared he would do more than the beating if the wolf were in control. After a few minutes of him watching my body, he spoke. "You look disgusting. Your body is disgusting." More tears streamed my face. His words affected me even more than the pain it always had. I knew everything he said was true. I have seen how people looked at me, and I could not even look at myself in the mirror after these 6 years of suffering at his hands. The blue moon will be arriving tomorrow. You are not to leave this shed. You are not worthy of having a mate. I will never allow you to have a mate. The only way you will leave this filthy shed is dead. He laughed in a sick way. Well, I don't know why I am worried about it. Even if any pack member sees you, they would never take you as their mate. Why would they choose a sick-looking girl like you when they could have a hot piece of ass, she-wolf? He walked even closer to where I was lying down. They will be leaving Sunday morning. On Saturday night, we will have a party for them, and you will go to the pack house to clean the kitchen and scrub the floor after it. They will need everything clean to cook breakfast for our guests. He squatted down and grabbed my hair hurtfully, making me look at him. Do that while everybody is sleeping. I want you out of there before the sun is up, and I don't want to smell your filthy scent in the house while my guests and I are having breakfast. Am I clear? With much difficulty, I nodded my head. I knew better than to speak or disobey. He released my hair in a tug, making my head bounce to the floor, and that was the last thing I saw before he left the dark shed.